Notes, tidbits and stats for Saturday night's Big Ten championship game between the Wisconsin Badgers and Ohio State Buckeyes in Indianapolis. This is the 82nd meeting between Wisconsin and Ohio State. The Buckeyes lead the series 5-8, 1-5-5, including 1-0 in Big Ten championship games. The Badgers have lost 5 straight in the series and have not won away from Camp Randall Stadium. Signed 2004. Under Paul Chryst, Wisconsin is 23-3 when scoring first, 8-0 in 2017, 10-3 when the opponent scores first, 4-0 in 2017, 21-3 when leading after the first quarter, 9-0 in 2017, 6-2 when trailing after the first quarter, 3-0 in 2017, 28-2 when leading at halftime, 9-0 in 2017, 3-4 when trailing at halftime, 1-0 in 2017, 30-2 when leading after the third quarter, 12-0 in 2017, and 3-3 when trailing after the third quarter, 0-0 in 2017. Wisconsin has 18,100 rushers versus Ohio State, with just one over 200 yards. Mark Harrison, 203 in 1984, the last to do it in a Wisconsin win. John Clay, 2010, 2 have done it since Monty Ball, 2012, and Corey Clement, 2016. The Badgers have 14,200 passers against Ohio State and are 2-12 in those games. The wins: Darrell Bevell, 1992, and Brooks Bollinger, 2001. There have been straight losses with a 200 passer since 2007-16. Wisconsin has 7 100 receivers against Ohio State, have lost all 7 of those games. The most yards and last to do it was Jared Abederis, 207 yards in 2013. With his next 200 rushing game, Jonathan Taylor will be just the third Wisconsin player to have 4 or more 200 games in a season. Ron Dayne had 5 such games in 1996 and 99, while Melvin Gordon did it 6 times in 2014. Taylor's next 100 rushing game will be his 10th of 2017, tying him for second most with 5 others. Brent Moss, 1993. Ron Dayne, 1999. Anthony Davis, 2001. Monty Ball, 2011 and 12. For most in a single season in UW history, Taylor needs 25 rushing yards to pass Monty Ball, 2012. For 5th place, 118 to pass Monty Ball, 2011. For 4th place and 229 to pass Ron Dayne, 1999. On UW's all-time single-season list, Taylor needs 58 rushing yards to pass Ron Dayne, 1996. For 2nd place and 120 to pass Adrian Peterson, 2004. For 1st place on the NCAA's all-time freshman rushing yards list. Note: Dayne's total does not include 246 yards he ran for in the 1996 Copper Bowl. Alex Hornibrook needs 2 touchdown passes to tie Scott Tolzien for 8th place and 3 to tie Russell Wilson and Jim Sorgi for 6th place on UW's all-time list. Hornibrook needs 1 touchdown pass to tie and 2 to pass Joel Stave for 2nd place on UW's all-time single-season list. Hornibrook needs 281 passing yards to pass Neil Graff for 10th place on UW's all-time list. Hornibrook needs 25 passing yards to pass Mike Samuel, 1996, for 19th place, 30 to pass Tony Lowery, 1990, for 18th place, 31 to pass Brooks Bollinger, 2002, for 17th place, 169 to pass Mike Samuel, 1997, for 16th place and 272 to pass John Stocco for 15th place on UW's all-time list. Hornibrook needs 16 completions to pass Neil Graff for 11th place and 27 to pass Jim Sorgi for 10th place on UW's all-time list. Hornibrook needs 1 interceptions to tie and 2 to pass Greg Bolig, John Boyajian and John Stocco for 16th place and 2 to tie and 3 to pass Charles Burt and John Stocco for 14th place on UW's all-time list. Troy Fumagalli needs 25 receiving yards to pass Donald Hayes for 13th place on UW's all-time list. Fumagalli needs 4 receptions to tie and 5 to pass Altoon for 7th place on UW's all-time list. Derek Tyndall needs 2 pass breakups to tie and 3 to pass Jeff Messenger and Alan Langford for 7th place on UW's all-time list. Tyndall needs 1 passes defense to tie Niles Brinkley for 13th place, 2 to tie Steve Wagner for 12th place, 3 to tie Nevoy Aguirre and Scott Nelson for 11th place and 4 to tie Devin Smith for 9th place on UW's all-time list. Tyndall needs 1 forced fumble to tie 20 others, most recently Desmond Southward, for 7th place, with 4 and 2 to tie Brendan Kelly for 6th place on UW's all-time list. Tyndall and/or Tyler Johnson needs 1 forced fumble to tie 10 others, most recently Chris Borland in 2012, for 4th place on UW's single-season forced fumbles list, with 3. Nick Nelson needs 1 pass breakup to tie Steve Wagner and Troy Vincent for 12th place, 2 to tie and 3 to pass Niles Brinkley for 10th place and 4 to tie Devin Smith for 9th place on UW's all-time list. Nelson needs 1 passes defense to tie and 2 to pass Jamar Fletcher, 2000, for 3rd place and 5 to tie Mike Eccles, 2000, and Jim Leonard, 2002, for 1st place on UW's all-time single-season list. Rafael Gagliano needs 3 field goals to tie Philip Welch for 2nd place on UW's all-time list. Gagliano needs 1 50-plus yard field goal, be the only kicker in Wisconsin history with 4 FGs from 50-plus in Wisconsin history. Natural Jamerson needs 1 kick return for a touchdown to tie Ira Matthews and Nick Davis for the most in UW history. 2. Wisconsin needs 79 yards of total offense to pass the 2008 team for 10th most, 203 to pass the 2007 team for 9th most, 309 to pass the 2009 team for 7th most, 353 to pass the 1993 team for 6th most, and 395 to pass the 2012 team for 5th most in a single season in UW history. Wisconsin needs 16 yards rushing to pass the 1994 team for 10th most, 91 to pass the 1993 team for 9th most, 244 to pass the 1974 team for 8th most, and 276 to pass the 2010 for 7th most in a single season in UW history. The Badgers need 29 points to pass the 2005 team for 5th most and 35 to pass the 2013 team for 4th most in a single season in UW history.